What is up, everybody, to another episode of the Nerdy Brigade. Today with me I have
Scotty Burrito.
And today we are back with Fire Emblem 3 Houses, Golden Deer, Ironman, Maddening, No Recruits Run. We have currently finished up about halfway through the Red Canyon, and we've gotten past the really hard part of it, but now comes basically the cleanup, if we're going to be real for a second. So the rest of these enemies are basically the rest of the enemies are just going to stand still, and we're just going to bait them one at a time. And that's how it's going to go. I'm really glad that I didn't fuck up, gonna be real with you for a second, because I don't want to jinx myself, because Kostas, what the fuck is his name? I don't know. Weird, ugly barbarian dude up here. Yeah, he actually is kind of scary.
This
yeah, he
is.
Yeah, this ugly motherfucker. Yeah, he actually can be a little scary. So I don't want to get too ahead of myself for a second. I have lost people to him before. Gonna be real with you. I remember when I fought him the first time, I'm like, man, that's one of the hardest bosses in all Fire Emblem. And then I got back, and I was just like, oh yeah, it's still hard, but not that bad. I was just playing like an idiot. This game doesn't like have any bosses that like immediately like stick out to me as like hard per se. Actually that's a fucking lie. When you get to part 2, there's quite a few that are actually giant pains in the ass. Dimitri and Edelgard are both super big pains in the asses because for some reason Dimitri has distant counter. So no matter where you attack him, he's basically the Death Knight but just on foot. Gonna be real with you, that's basically Dimitri. Because he's got distant counter, he's got a bunch of crit, and he wields a lance. It's basically the same guy.
Basically.
Yeah, I know, except you know the whole I'm not on a horse thing. But yeah, Dimitri's a pain in the ass. Edelgard doesn't suck nearly as much because the worst thing about her is her high crit. And also don't bait her for fuck's sake. If you bait her, she's just gonna Raging Storm you and get another turn, and that is gonna kill somebody on your party. Don't do that. That's a dumb motherfucker thing to do.
But you could if you want.
And I'm not. Yeah, no, you would die. There's no way. Unless you one round her, you can't even. Just don't do that. The thing is that when I first fought her, I already knew about Raging Storm because of I read her combat arts, and so I was ready for that. So I didn't actually bait her. I should note about combat arts is that enemies actually don't actually use combat arts that often. There's literally one guy in Chapter 5, the Gautier Inheritance. There's one armor knight who learned Smash, and it scared the shit out of me because I'm like, well, because I thought all enemies were going to use combat arts from like now on. I'm like, oh, that's scary. I don't know how I'm going to handle that. But it's literally only him. He's the only enemy besides bosses that uses combat arts. And I'm like, why? why this random armor knight?
He just decided to be a big boy for a day, you know?
Yeah, I know. Like, literally, I think I can call 3 people off the top of my head that use combat arts. It's fucking Dimitri, Edelgard, and the final boss. And also this random armor knight in Chapter 5. So, I don't fucking know. Yeah, it's kind of insanity, to be honest with you. And it is scary. He does have, like, a droppable item, which is why I'm like, but, like, I was expecting, like, all enemies to, like, have this type of shit. I'm like, oh, that's scary, man. I don't know if I'm ready for that type of thing. But no, it's literally just him. If you guys know what I'm talking about, we'll see him when we get there. Training sword, that's 13 yellow. Yeah. Fuck Christ. The one thing that I'm worried about now is when you have to do the auxiliary battles in between this month in the next chapter, those are like the only hard auxiliary battles in the entire game. Every other auxiliary battle is like a piece of cake, like it's a pushover. But the first one is really fucking hard. And I only say that because there's a chance that it could be rogues instead of axe fighters, and if it's rogues, it's like 1,000,000 times harder, because rogues have like a shit ton of attack speed. Like, they're so fast, like, oh my god, stop. And they basically double in one round everything in your party. It's really annoying. Anyways, so we're baiting a fighter right now, I believe it is. Let me check this out. Yeah, it's a brigand, my bad. Yeah, he only does 13 damage, so nothing to worry about. I'm also gonna go give Hilda that golden spurt over there. I mean, this is the gold shit on the ground. I'm gonna go give Hilda that because I want her to have good. I want her to be high level. I want her to
see the
start
little shiny jizz on the ground? That's hers.
I almost did. I was almost like, I'm gonna go give Hilda some golden fucking nut on the ground over here. I do want to give it to her because it is very, very good shit. Gonna be real with you. One sec. It gives like it's crazy how much those stuff gives. It gives like good experience for like legit the entire game. Attack speed of 9, attack speed of 9. Hey, I double with rally speed. Nice.
Sorry.
Claude is actually one of the only few people on your party that actually double like regular enemies in chapters. Like everyone can double enemies in like the pushover auxiliary battles, but only Claude can actually get like natural doubles. Him and Byleth, basically. Which is good shit, I gotta mention. I'm gonna give Lorenz this kill because, you know, I kept him alive this time, so I might as well get uses out of him. Alright, go for it, Lorenz. Bada bing, bada boom.
You can't compete
Bada
with
bing,
me.
bada boom, boom.
Yes, bada boom, boom, indeed.
Kabongo.
Man, you guys just jonk. Remember when Brody was like, hit that jonk, and then we tried to make that a thing, but it never stuck. Poor man.
It's a joint.
Too bad he's off in Vietnam.
Too bad. Did I tell you I saw him on the road the other day? I was driving home and he's just there on his bike.
Amazing.
I was like,
Dude, did I tell you about
this man.
I don't know why that got me, but yeah, this man. For fuck's sake. Nah, dude, it's crazy. It's big crazy.
Big
I would want to do. I don't know. Like, I don't know how much. I know everyone really liked our throwdowns videos because they're like some of the most popular videos on our channel. But
crazy. I like those too.
I like those too. But the problem is that like I don't know what the fuck to do anymore. Gonna be real with you. Like we don't have any
What's
punishments left. Yeah. Like nothing that we can do. Like any other channel that does that type of stuff, they have like a huge budget and they can do a bunch of crazy shit to the loser. But we're just like, we're gonna get some jelly beans.
Eat cat food and then also eat dog food.
Right? And then fuck you. Basically, that's what we did to you.
Yeah, pretty much.
God, big knots. Lovely little big knots. Big knots are gonna get this big kill. Hoo boy. Come on. God damn it. So again, I feel like I must state, I didn't talk about Byleth and Claude all that much, to be honest with you, and I've kind of been vague about every other student. I'm no expert by any means, even though I have just completing a Maddening run doesn't make you an expert at the game, I should stress. So it's not like I know exactly what the ideal strategy for all the students are or anything, but I feel like I'd just give my 2 cents and just tell you what my plan is for all of them, because I'm not going to be showing the school stuff anyways, so I might as well just say it right now. Anyway, so with Byleth, I know you can do better stuff with him, but I usually just keep him as an Enlightened one, mostly because I really want his healing for the first chapter of Part 2, because he's like your only healer for a bit, and I think that's legit the hardest chapter in the entire game. Not gonna lie, the first chapter of Part 2 is the hardest one of the entire game. It is really fucking hard. The game just decides that your army is only limited to like 6 people at the start, and that's if you know the trick about waiting. And for the rest of it, it's just like, fuck you. They send like legit like 20 guys against your 6, and it's like, can you stop, please? And the worst thing is you have no preparation time. Like the chapter just hits you all of a sudden. So like you can't
go.
like
just go. Good luck.
Basically, like you don't have any time to say, like you don't have any time to do shit because like because canonically Byleth has been dead for like a few years. And he comes back, and everyone's like, "Oh, great! It's great to see you back." Anyways, you want to go kill some bandits, and that's the plot. And that's basic. But you don't get a month of preparation time to prepare for the chapter. You're just kind of fucked. Like, and it's really, really bad. And it's really hard. I usually that's why I like keeping Byleth as an Enlightened one for that chapter in particular, because that one sucks. I know you can switch afterwards. But fuck it, I just like to keep him as an Enlightened one anyways. That's definitely the least optimal thing I do. I know there's better stuff you can do with Byleth. Way better stuff you can do with Byleth. But anyways, aside from that, for Claude, I keep him as his promoted class as well. I usually keep Ashes and Dust on him as well too, because I like its ability. I like its 2 range ability plus his Canto. It's very, very helpful. The other thing, let's see the other thing. How well do you? This guy does 10 damage, minus my 6 res, 4 times 2 I live. fucking goddamn, what was I thinking about? Oh yeah, so the students, the one who I has the most experience with, and the one that I praise the most is Hilda, because she did turn into a giant MVP in my practice run. She was basically unstoppable. She was like the only person able to kill bosses, the only person who was able to avoid doubles, the only person who was able to get fucking anything done was Hilda. She was actually insane. Her biggest problem is that she actually kind of had shitty luck. So the final boss and the Edelgard fight, she was actually kind of risky to use because she could have gotten crit. In particular, I like to get her up to her armor thing so she learns weight -3, because that'll really help her out in the early game to make it so she's actually fast enough to avoid and double. But then for the most part, I just spec her into a Wyvern Rider. I'm gonna be honest with you, I think making Hilda into a general is fucking stupid, because Wyvern Riders have like almost the same defense and have like twice as much move and Canto, so it's like, and by what Canto is, you get to move after you attack. It's broken as shit. Combine that with flying mobility. It literally means that you could just fly over all terrain. Violet's got a fucking stonk level up. By the way, like I think everything except Charm. Fucking great.
He actually got speed now?
Yeah, he's got 10 speed now. That's great.
Nice.
Yeah, but yeah, she gets crazy. Strength, speed, defense. She's got like the highest out of anybody in the team in those stats, and those are the most important stats. So that's why she's good. That's basically just how it rolls. Gonna be real with you for a hot second. That's why she's good. With the others, it's not as I'm gonna keep her as a Wyvern Rider, get into her Wyvern Lord and whatnot, get weight -3, but after that, it's just, as soon as she becomes a Wyvern Lord, like, there's really nothing else to do for her, gotta be real with you. As far as I'm aware. The real problem with Hilda is her early game optimization. I feel like a lot of the students, it's like, matters what you do with, like, mid to late, but with Hilda, it's like so much shit, there's like so much shit I just want to teach her at the start, and it's really hard, because she has to learn axes, lances, flying, armor, it's just so fucking much, so... I understand that what I do with Hilda is probably not optimal, but it's worked. I guess the best way to say it. Anyways, that's Hilda taken care of. Definitely the best unit in part 2, like no doubt. The only problem is again she isn't the great against like the 2 last bosses, or more specifically Edelgard and fucking what's his face, the final boss. She isn't great against those. And she also doesn't do good against Dimitri either, but nobody does good against Dimitri. You literally just have to gambit the man, and then one-shot him with Lycia. Speaking of Lycia... Yeah, seriously. So speaking of Lycia, she's very, very important. In part 1, she's the only person that could deal with the Death Knight, and in one of those chapters, like the other... Like, in one chapter, it's like, kill everybody except the Death Knight, but killing everybody except the Death Knight is like a huge pain in the ass, because they're also spread out, and you have a turn limit. It's much easier, in quotations, to just go after the Death Knight himself and kill him. But the only person who can do that is Lycia. So getting her up to Mage and getting her Dark Spikes is like super fucking important, in my opinion. It's the only time, besides that, in the Battle of Garreg Mach, there's only 2 mandatory times you need to kill the Death Knight. But the problem is that nobody else can fight him except her, or except I fight, but I really mean one shot. So that's why she's really important. In part 2, on the other hand, her utility goes down a lot, because by the time you hit part 2, Lycia literally gets one-rounded by fucking everything and everybody. And it's really hard, and she also gets really movement screwed, because everyone else gets like a mount and shit by part 2, but she's still stuck on foot. And it just makes her real bad in comparison. But she's still immensely important, because Hilda might be able to fight bosses, but Lycia can basically one-shot them once they're softened up. And that's the important thing. I'm gonna be honest with you, I have no idea how the hell you're supposed to kill the final boss without Lycia, because she does like 3/4 of his health. And he's actually insane. Like, he'll crit anybody in the party and just kill them. As long as Lycia is alive, I can win, is what I have to say. Like, that's basically it. Like, if Hilda dies, that sucks, but at the very least, I can just turn Violet into a Wyvern Rider or something to make up for it, you know?
Yeah.
But if Lycia dies, there's like nobody that can replace the stuff the power that she brings. And so that's why she's also very important. Both losing Hilda or losing Lycia is basically for the most. So we technically have 4 main lords, if we're gonna be real for a hot second, instead of just the 2. So yeah, that's Lycia out of the way. She also learns Warp. I forgot to mention that. You don't use it, like... I know, like, warp skipping battles and stuff like that is stuff that you do, but on an Ironman, I just feel like it's too fucking risky, especially when you get to the late game and bosses have abilities that, like, have damage. I don't want to risk, like, sending one guy to go kill the boss to end the chapter, and then all of a sudden their damage gets halved, and I lose that guy, and I lose the chapter, basically. So that's why I don't usually use any warp strats. I mean, I use warp strats when I see the availability, but I don't try to one round end turn. It's basically that, and then, good God. So yeah, that's what I have to say about Lycia. Next up, let's talk about the last unit. Oh boy. Actually, give me a second. Alrighty, the last unit I wanted to talk about of the important squad is she's definitely the least valuable of the important squad, but it's Marianne.
Yeah.
Marianne, for the most part, is like, she seems really important. Here's the thing: I'm going to turn Marianne into a dancer this time, so that she can grant another action to somebody on the team in a turn, and that will be immensely helpful. But in the practice run, I didn't do that because I'm a dumbass, which is basically all I have to say about that. And, oh my god, fucking Lorenz ran out of fire magic uses, you motherfucker. Sorry. But basically, Marianne is literally just physic utility. That's like all she does. The fact that she has long range shielding is really, really important, but it's also like the only thing she does. Gotta be real. Like, I mean, I should also mention that she does do a lot of magic damage, and magic is actually very accurate against like the speedy folk, like assassins and swordmasters, so that's helpful too, especially since they can't counterattack either because she's attacking them from range. So not saying she doesn't have her uses, and the fact that she's also a res tank. Like, yeah, she's got a lot of shit, but like, I would say it's like about on par. Like, there's nothing essential that she does, is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
But in the early game, like, she has her quirks, but so does everybody, gonna be real. But she has her quirks, but so does everybody. That's kind of what I'm trying to get on. But the last thing, but it's very important to have Psychic in the early game, or Physic, my bad. Because that's literally like your only get out of jail free card. It's like before you get like rescue stabs with, or spell with Flayn and stuff like that later in the run, you basically just have to rely on Marianne Physic to get you out of tight spots. And it can't do everything, but it certainly helps.
Right.
And last thing is, those are what I would call the essential guys. Marianne does not become an essential guy. She's if I do make her into a dancer, yes, she is essential. But after that, she's eh. I forgot to mention something with Claude. I feel like I talked about this earlier, but yeah, his Ashes and Dust is super important. There's so many maps where the entire map just depends if Claude can hit his Ashes and Dust. And that's literally it. It's basically just an 80% chance win or lose. And it's really annoying, but it's how it goes, you know?
Right.
But the one good thing I need to talk about is that if Marianne becomes a dancer, then whatchamacallit, then I actually get 2 chances to use my Ashes and Dust, because she can dance for Claude if he misses. So that's very important, but not mandatory per se.
Right.
So that's the one thing I wanted to say about Claude, about his Ashes and Dust. I know you can give it to other people, but you can't trade battalions mid-combat, so it's not like I can use it with him and then give it to somebody else. So I'm just going to stick it on him, for the most part. Next thing, the person... Actually, we're kind of running out of time here. I'm at the boss, and I'm being his ass, so... I'll leave the rest of the Scrub Squad analysis for later. But for now, that's basically all I have to say about the students. I'll keep going at a later date. Anyway, so we're about to kill big old Kostas, big ugly barbarian mother dude. Now, question. Who should I give the kill to? I'll tell you who's already moved, and I'll tell you who can get... So who should we give the kill to? We have Byleth, Hilda, Lorenz, Raphael, Marianne, and Lycia, who are all left to get the kill. Which one do you want to get the kill?
Marianne.
Yeah, I don't think she can. Yes, she can! Yes, she can! Bob the Builder!
Can he fuck him?
Yes, Marianne just killed him.
I wonder how much.
That's good.
Please forgive me, goddess, and save their souls.
Those thieves ran out of luck.
Hey! I actually got Red Canyon on recording without losing somebody!
It's amazing, team.
Yeah.
Holy... Yay! How many turns? That was 35 turns! I tell you, how the hell are you supposed to speed this chapter, dude? This chapter takes forever. Red Canyon Dominance completed.
Yeah.
God damn it. Alright, next up is Chapter 3, the battle against Lonato. I've done that without losing somebody. Scott has seen me done that without losing somebody. But hey, guess what? Scott Lorenzo's alive! He's not dead! Yay! Alright. But that is everything, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, I'll continue my analysis of the other half of the Golden Deer and probably the Lonato chapter, because that chapter is also a bunch of turtling. But hey, I'm already doing better than I was last run, even if my Byleth is a little bit more shit, because Lorenz is alive. That's good shit. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. Anything you gotta say, Scott?
Nice penis.
Okay.
I had to think about that for a
Alright,
second.
yeah, think about it, boys. Think about your nice penises at home.
Yep.
See you guys later. Bye-bye!
Later.